Hi guys, my name is Sudhanshu Pandey, and first of all, I would like to thank TEDxGoldenBridge to give me this platform and this opportunity to speak about something that I'm very, very sensitive about, and something that I've personally gone through, something that I've experienced, and something that has altered my life, my thinking, my conscience forever. And today, whatever I am as a human being, as an actor, as a person, or whatever you may call or perceive me as, is the result, is the final result of what I went through because of that experience. And the topic that I'm talking about is essentially mental health. And today the world is filled with all sorts of competition, the competitive nature of people, the cutthroat competition, the race to be number one and to be running all the time restlessly without realizing what kind of impact it's having on our mind, on our physical condition, on our families, or anybody who loves us or is around us. So I would like to share one experience that I just mentioned, and it happened to me around 2008. And I'd also like to tell you that this whole thing happened when at the age of 30 or something. I think I had bought my first house in Bombay, and I was very fortunate that I had the strength and the ability to be able to pull all the strings together, and I could buy a house which was fairly large size, and at such a young age, for an actor who had come to Bombay with nothing but a wife and no friends, no work, no money at all, to be able to buy a house, buy an apartment. And obviously that happened, I brought upon a lot of pressure on my head as well, because obviously you can't buy in one go. Not many of us can buy apartments or houses in one go in a city like Bombay, which is very expensive, and it requires a lot of money to give for an apartment in one go. So obviously I had picked up a loan, and as a result, obviously I was working throughout, and I was trying to make as much money as possible to be able to give my EMIs for that house, and also other expenditures that we go through, or we have to bear on a daily basis. And around 2008, I think I shifted into that house in 2006, and I think around 2008, one day I was with a friend of mine. He's a director and a writer, and I was sitting in a open cafe with him. In fact, I still remember. I can never forget that moment, because it was something that changed me forever. I was standing with him, and I suddenly started feeling that my body suddenly started to feel like there is something happening, there's something wrong with me. And my heart started racing suddenly, and I could feel the palpitations up to my throat here. And I started sweating, and I said, I told my friend, I said, Sohail, mujhe kuch ho raha hai. I don't know what is happening. Something's happening to me. Take me to the doctor, take me to the hospital. And he also panicked, and he rushed me to my doctor first. I said, take me to my doctor, and I went to my doctor, my family doctor, and she failed to recognize what happened to me. She rushed me to a hospital. She said, get your cardiac status checked, and I went and I got an ECG done. The ECG was normal, but I was not normal. I was feeling like somebody is something's happening to me, and I think I'm going to die. I think I'm just going to die. And just suddenly everything around me was so dark, and so dramatically dark. And I just thought that everything is coming down, crumbling down, crashing down, and it felt like doom. And guys, all I can tell you is that that just felt terrible to another level. And from there my journey started. And although we have very limited time, I would love to go on and on about this experience, but let me tell you that it's an experience where if you were a very very happy man, or you are a very happy person, and you're standing on top of you have a good life and you have a very happy life, and you're standing on top of a mountain cliff, and you're enjoying the breeze, you're enjoying the scenery, everything is hunky-dory around you, people are happy, your kids are happy, your wife is happy, your friends are happy, everything is happy around you. And while you're standing on that cliff, and suddenly somebody comes from behind and kicks you in the back hard, and you start to fall. And when you fall, you're falling and falling and falling without any hitting the ground. You can't see the ground, you're just falling. And trust me, that feeling of being in that state of a constant fall and going deeper and deeper and deeper and darker is something that is incomparable, and something that cannot be explained but only experienced. It's like being suspended into a world that is dark, absolutely darkness, absolute darkness around you, absolute. You're suspended, you're floating, and you still feel that you're falling, but there is nobody catching you. You're not hitting the ground, you're not touching anything. There's nothing. It's just constant suspension into that dark world. It feels like doom. It feels like you're dying any minute, and every minute you're dying. And by God's grace, I would say that, I don't know, maybe I'm blessed with my karma, that one, I had to go through this. I had to go through this experience, which I later came to know is called a panic attack. And this panic attack sent me spiraling down into a very, very, very dark world of doom. And it just sent me spiraling down so fast that within a matter of few seconds, I was in chronic depression. And the reason why I'm mentioning this word depression is because it is true, it is real, and it can happen to any one of us. And like I said, we are living a life of constant competition for everything, whether it is your career, whether it is your dressing up, your clothes, your friends, or competition with your friends कि उसका घर मेरे से ज़्यादा बड़ा है तो मुझे बड़ा घर लेना है. He is doing a better job than I am, so I need to do a better job. Or he is happier than I am, so let me also be happy. And then we get into all sort of pretense and artificial happiness, and we really can't find any true happiness in all of that. And then these kind of things happen to you where you suddenly break down internally because you've taken too much, you've endured too much of pressure and pain, and without realizing, one day you hit this moment and you're depressed, and then you don't know what to do. You're still trying to figure your life out. You still wonder what has happened to me, and then you start feeling really weird, and you start to think that, is my life over? Is everything over? Is my career over? Is my family over? Am I dying? Or should I die myself? Should I kill myself? Any sort of thought can come into your head. But this is where I want to correct you. I will share my personal experience, obviously, and I'll tell you how I dealt with it. And trust you me, whenever this happens, you must tell yourself that actually there is nothing wrong with you. It's just in your mind. It's your mind that is telling you that something is wrong, where actually there's nothing wrong. It's a chemical imbalance. If I were to tell you in a scientific language or a medical language, it's a chemical imbalance. It just changes your thinking. It just changes the feeling around you. And obviously, because you you've endured so much of pressure on your head, and your lifestyle has been such that, physically these things happen, and suddenly one day you start to feel very different. So let me tell you that I was lucky that I drew strength from within, and I kept telling myself, I've always been a very strong person from inside. As far as me, anything to do with me and my family is concerned, I always drew strength from within, and I kept telling myself throughout this feeling that no, there is nothing, this cannot be real, this is not true, this is not me, this is not Sudhanshu Pandey, this cannot happen to me, this cannot bring me down, this cannot change my life, this is not what I'm here for. I am here for much bigger things, and this cannot put me down. And I kept telling that to myself and kept drawing strength from that one thought that there is nothing wrong with me. I kept drawing strength, and I kept becoming stronger, till one day a friend of mine, a childhood classmate of mine, suddenly appeared from somewhere, and he introduced me to my almighty Mahakal in Ujjain, one of the 12 Jyotirlings, and that is where I went and surrendered myself. And from there, my spiritual journey started. And I'll tell you something, that during all this dark period, I felt that all that muck, the dirt of the influence of the worldly things around me, and being a part of this glamour industry, there's so much of muck, there is so much of pressure and all of that. This influences that I had on my conscience, which completely covered my soul and my conscience, those blankets filled with the muck of this worldly influence on me, started to clear up. I started to remove those blankets one by one, because this whole dark phase also helped me get in touch with my conscience, and I only realized it much later that I'm in touch with my conscience and I need to help myself. And the moment I started removing those blankets and started clearing those blankets, I became a different person. And thanks to Mahakal, I started praying, I started doing Shivaradhana, I started talking to myself in a better way, I started reasoning everything that I wanted to do and I didn't want to do. I started reasoning with myself, and trust you me, slowly, gradually, by telling myself that there is nothing wrong, I found my way out of this dark world. And 3.5 years later, 4 years later, when I did come out of this, without any medication, yes, I did not use any medication at all. I came out of this dark, depressed state of mind without any medication, just by telling myself that there is nothing wrong with me, there is nothing wrong with anything around me. Everything is fine, it is just my mind that is playing games with me, and that is all I need to get rid of. And I drew strength from the spiritual streak that I developed from my Mahakal, and that is it. 4 years later, when I stood in front of the camera as an actor, I was there standing as a completely different human being, a completely different person, and I had a renewed conscience. And today, let me tell you that I am an actor who gets appreciation and love from all you people. For all the work that I do, from the way I emote, is all thanks to what I have become as a person from inside after going through all this. So let me tell you that please do not ever let yourself be affected by any sort of state where you feel depressed or whatever negativity that you have. You must tell yourself that this is not it, this is not the end of it. You must talk to people, you must talk to your family and tell them that this is how you're feeling, and I'm sure you will have the help, you will get the help from the people who love you, from the friends who love you, and you will be out of it sooner than you know. And life is very beautiful. Let's value our life. Let's value the gift that God has given us. It is the greatest gift that He's given us. Let us value it, let us live it, and let's make the most of it and do some good work and concentrate on good karma and faith. Be positive, stay positive. And this is Sudhanshu Pandey signing off. Thank you once again, TEDx Golden Bridge, for giving me this platform to speak my heart out. I hope whatever I've shared with you guys is something that you can take back home. And if you ever feel slightly negative, you can deal with it with the way I told you. And I'll be very happy if this can be of any help to you guys. Thank you so much once again. Jai Hind, Jai Mahakal, and Jai Shri Ram. God bless.